Welcome to the latest installment of a series that we like to call That Leslie Sound.
In this series, we're going to attempt to cover every Leslie pedal on the used and the new market. If you want to know more about what pedals are in the series, click on the card above to watch the series opener.
And if you want to know what That Leslie Sound is, click on the card that will take you to a YouTube playlist that you'll hear many famous songs that use That Leslie Sound. Welcome to the series. Today, That Leslie Sound is brought to you by Option 5 and their pedal, their offering called Destination Rotation Single, and the Beard's going to show you a little bit what it sounds like.
All right, so that was the Option 5 Destination Rotation Single. And this pedal's been around for a while. This is something you would look for in the used market, I believe. I don't think it's being made anymore. But you see it pop up pretty frequently.
Bicycle rabbits.
Oh my gosh, every night, every time. Pretty frequently on like reverb and places like that. So, kind of an interesting setup to this one. We have 3 foot switches. One of the foot switches engages the effect. The other foot switch switches you between fast and slow. And then the other foot switch engages a drive channel. 2 larger knobs. So let's just look at the left side of the pedal right now. You have your mic placement knob. And so this will be how close, we've talked about this in other episodes, how close the mic is to the cabinet or away. So the closer the mic is, the virtual mic is, the more of a throb you're going to get to it. We have a slow trim and a fast trim knob. And in that little demo, when it went to the slow, that's the fastest the slow goes.
Right.
Right. So we talked a good bit about this beforehand here. And what were we saying? This pedal has the fastest slow of any slow. The slowest slow of any slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top speed on the slow is slower than most
Of
slow
any of
speeds.
that we've tried so far, yes, for sure.
So you can get a really slow grind on this one. And then the fast trim pot. And so then if we come over to the right, you have 2 little knobs. One says drive level and the other one says drive amount. And so that would be how you mix your drive into it. I think worth noting, like many of the other drive sections we've seen so far on Leslie pedals, it's not your typical overdrive.
Yeah.
Like if you're expecting a tube screamer sound or an overdrive like lead sound, that's not really what you get. I think people are going more for the crunch or the grind that you would get out of a Hammond speaker.
Yeah, I was going to say that searing organ sound
Yeah.
more than what you would expect for a guitar. Yeah, for sure.
So, all right. And so the other switch turns the overdrive on. So we've been starting with... We have this kind of Leslie riff we've been playing on every one of these, and it seems like the Supro has become the guitar for that. So you can, if you go to other videos in that Leslie Sound series, and you kind of get to the right spot, you can hear those pedals with the same riff as you're hearing right here. So what we're going to do, I think, let's do this. Let's take the mic placement all the way to the left, and you can play that Leslie riff, and then we'll roll it the whole way to the right. And really, that's the only thing to change, with the exception of the fast speed. So we'll show that the trim after we do this.
So we're using a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe, and here's the reference sound.
So engage pedal. So even on the fast trim, you go all the way to slow, it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of them, they kind of overlap a little bit.
Right.
So the slow at its fastest is kind of like the fast,
That is
a little
slowest.
higher than the fast at its slowest. Like you can kind of overlap them a little bit. This, not so much. That is the absolute slowest the fast will go, and the fast is really, really, really fast. So let's kick it over to the slow trim pot. We have that actually cranked the whole way up. We're going to take the mic placement back to about 50, I think. So if we hit this,
If you watch the LED, man, that is like it looks like it dies. It's so
Right.
slow. But it's unique in that sense. That's what we talked about. But
right, so one of the unique, I think one of the unique features of this pedal is that slow
yeah,
setting. And almost to the point where when playing around with it before we started filming, we thought maybe even more phaser-ish or...
flange at times because of
Right.
the mid-range frequencies on this pedal.
Especially when you got the overdrive in on it. So should we... And we're not going to turn all the drive knobs. We have the drive amount about at 50. Maybe you want it higher. And the drive level, I think, is about 50, maybe a little bit more. You probably want it fast?
Yeah. Before we do drive now, is that we're going to switch to the other guitar?
Oh, yeah.
One moment, please.
So we're going to try the Leslie on slow. Turn the drive on. Let's turn the drive amount all the way down. And then as you're playing, I'll roll the drive amount the whole way. I'll go all the way down, noon, and then all the way up.
And can you remind me and them where the drive level is? Where is this one? Is it all the way dimed?
No, it's just a little over noon.
Okay. All right. Could hear a big difference between off and about halfway, and then I think from halfway to
it's not
pegged,
too
it
much.
didn't sound that much different to me. But it really, one thing we wanted to feature the drive, really trying to talk more about the slow. And you could really hear how it phased in and out, especially when that gain came in a little bit higher.
And I mean, I think there's people, like probably, in all honesty, if I was putting a Leslie pedal on my board,
Yeah.
I would want one with a slow that's maybe a little bit faster.
Right.
In the case of where you're maybe not as interested in going between fast and slow, or you like that really just slow, grindy. And so probably would sound totally different if you threw different overdrive pedals in front of it or put, whatever you did with it. But could maybe even get towards that, you were saying almost that kind of Gilmore-ish.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like when you get the drive in on it, the built-in drive, it almost gets that like kind of flanger effect to it too.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I'm going to say something very strange here, that could potentially be a Leslie pedal that works for me, because I think maybe in previous episodes I tend to lean towards the fast, right? I love that fast because I love the fast choppy tremolos. So this pedal could be interesting for me in the sense that I would almost view the slow side as a different pedal. Like, I wouldn't even look at it as a Leslie. I'd be like, it's this cool phasey flangey thing. So anyway, so again, point being, different players. People can use a pedal in a different way, and the uniqueness of this pedal is, I think, that's slow.
Awesome that we got to get it in and try it out there, because it's been out there for a while. It's been one on my radar that I've wanted to find. It's definitely one of the 5 options I wanted to look at. So I had like 5 options on my. I really wanted to. Definitely.
So you went with option 5.
So I went with option 5 on this time. So.
That was good. I don't know if that was intentional, but it was brilliant either way.
With that, hey, thanks for tuning into that Leslie Sound again. Appreciate everybody that's been subscribing. New content probably every Wednesday and every Saturday at 12. I say probably because we have a real problem with commitment, although for the last year we've put something out every Wednesday and every Saturday, so the commitment has been there. So if you haven't subscribed, please do stop by Facebook, stop by Instagram, follow us there, because we haven't figured out how you get any love on Instagram yet, but
it doesn't keep us from putting stuff on it.
Yeah, it doesn't keep us from posting. So stop over, join the conversation there as well. And with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you, no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. Man overboard.
Yeah.